In today's video, we take a look at a man who sent a Venmo request to his lady friend for the drinks, and this woman here who now wants to be in her feminine energy after failing multiple relationships. But before we jump in, please make sure to subscribe the channel and turn on the bell notification.
I don't know if this is going to be controversial or not, but it's one of my favorite things that I've done in my dating life, so I have to share it with you. And yes, I'm dipping apples in Greek yogurt. I've decided that I'm going to be so in my feminine when I start dating guys from the get-go. So something that I would do in the past is that I would kind of be in my masculine, because I've kind of just been always more in my masculine. And if you don't know about masculine feminine energies, I have a ton of videos on that. But I would be more in my masculine from the get-go. So I would be the one kind of like initiating plans or telling us what we could do or all these different things. And I realized over time I would get frustrated because I was like, why isn't he planning anything? Why isn't he doing anything? And I'm like, oh wait, it's because I started off being that way. So now I take a huge backseat role in the beginning stages of dating because it's almost like a test. It's like, can they step up to the plate? Can they take charge? Can they lead?
Another day, and another woman who is fed up of acting like a man and now wants to go back to traditional ways. Good luck in your quest of finding your Mr. Right. And next we have a woman who only wants to date a guy if he has female friends.
I personally would not date a man who doesn't have any close women friends, and let me tell you why. I always get sort of confused when I hear women say that they would not or do not date men who have girl best friends, because to me, that shows like a man who can see the humanity in women. Knowing that you have women in your life that you have close platonic bonds with is absolutely a green flag for me, because that lets me know that you see women as people who should be respected, people who you can have friendship with. Like, it's the reverse for me. A man who cannot be close friends with women tells me either one, he can't control his sexual urges and you're just like attracted to everybody, or two, you don't have any respect for women in general. Well, no, I don't even want to say respect. It's not respect. You don't have any appreciation for women as just people who you can enjoy, learn from, have a good time with. Like, if you only see women as sexual beings, that is absolutely a red flag for me.
First of all, it is really difficult for men and women to be just friends. But even if they are, then also there is very little for men to learn from women apart from maybe nurturing kids. On the other hand, for women it is really beneficial, and most of them take full advantage of such friendships. And if they can't, then they act like this woman here.
Be honest with me, am I the asshole? Because my friend John has always been kind of cheap, right? And recently we went out to the bar and he bought me one beer. And then he proceeded to send me a Venmo request the next day for the one beer that he bought for me at the bar. And it wasn't even like I asked him to buy me the beer. It was like oh, I'm getting another round, do you want one? And I was like, yeah. I could not believe he sent that fucking Venmo request. We've been friends since like 14 years old, but he's always been cheap. So I Venmo requested him back. Is that fucked up of me? I feel like it's not, because I feel like...
So he has been making a fool of himself since he was 14. That's a bitter pill to swallow. And this is the type of friendship between men and women we are talking about, where if the guy isn't paying for everything, then he is called cheap. That's why this guy says, if she wants to be your friend, then you should also friend zone her.
Fellas, she wants to be your friend, give her the friend. Friend zone that ass. Yeah, don't be like her other guy friends. That pay, oh yeah, what can I do for you? No. She wants to be your boy. Let her be your boy. Yeah, I'll see you later, bro. Bruv, all right, I'll see you. My guy, what's good? That's it. Don't be all over her. Don't be trying to, oh, what can we do? Let's go to dinner and pay for her meal. Your friends you don't do this with your friends. That's it. Cut that. That's friend zone. Friend zone her. If she wants to be your friend, okay, let's friend it. No problem. I ain't gonna be all over you. I'll see you when I see you. All right, my guy, I'll see you when I see you. Yeah. That's it. Don't be all over her.
So we all know in 2024, the dating scene kind of sucks.
Couldn't agree more, and I'm sure you're going to enlighten us as to why.
And a lot of that has to do with the fact that men no longer court women.
Again, I 100% agree, and there's a reason for that, and I'm willing to bet you're going to share with us what you think those reasons are. I'm also willing to bet that whatever you think the reasons are aren't even remotely close to the actual reasons why.
Men no longer pursue women the way they used to. Think about The Notebook. Think about the way that Noah pursued Allie from the second he saw her. That literally doesn't happen anymore. Maybe like 5% of the time.
Now I have to admit it's been a while since I made my way through that god-awful movie, but her referencing it proves once again that women live and breathe in fantasies. And because she loved what she saw in that movie, she's now decided that that's the way it's always been, at least up until now. Every man has pursued women in exactly the same way as what happened in that movie. Well, I hate to break it to you, darling, but that's not even remotely close to reality.
So these are my theories as to why the dating scene is like that. First of all, I think that the music we've listened to growing up has really affected this. I think that rap music has had such a negative impact on men and on the dating scene, because if you listen to rap music and you listen to the way that these guys refer to women, they basically just talk about them like they're objects, and they're really not useful for anything else. Like there's literally zero respect for women in these songs.
Now, I actually think she's got a little bit of a point about music, and rap music in particular, influencing the mindset of today's men. I don't necessarily disagree with her, but I also think it's highly influenced the mindset of today's women. Now, I'm no fan of rap music, and I don't listen to it. It's not my thing any more than country music is. But to blame everything on rap music, not so much. But it is a fair point to say that there has been some influence. And the little bit I do know about rap music is it can be very degrading towards women. But the other observation I've often made is that the biggest connoisseurs of that music, the ones who follow it the most, happen to be white suburban teenage girls. Just saying.
Another thing is that if given the chance, most modern women would do anything to date a successful rapper because he would provide them with a lavish life, and then they won't question anything in regards of the lyrics of any song.
The second thing is, and unfortunately a lot of boys get exposed to this at such a young age, and it drastically affects the way their brains view women. It basically teaches them to unwillingly sexualize everything and every woman that they come across, basically just viewing them as objects for sex instead of as actual human beings.
Again, I do happen to agree with her. I just don't think it's having as much of an effect as she thinks it does. Because it's not the corn that's driving this. It's how women are acting that's driving this. We all know of a certain website where millions of women are choosing to put themselves, let's say, on display. So to blame it all on the boys and absolve the women when in fact it is them providing the product is a bit disingenuous, don't you think? But again, I do think you have somewhat of a valid point. That said, though, it's not a bigger reason why men are avoiding courting women as you think it is.
It also makes it harder for them to be in a committed relationship because they're used to seeing different girls every single time they watch this. They lose appreciation for a woman's body and just for her as a human being because they have such easy access to women.
At the start, she was making a tiny bit of sense about the effect of such videos on young men. But one should ask her, why are women willingly taking part in such videos? Why do women promote their channels of such content? Because just blaming it on those videos isn't going to cut it. As for such content, women are necessary, and they are very happy to do it.
No. Not even close on that one. And by the way, why would it be any different for women who choose to partake in corn? And oh yes, ladies, you do choose to partake in corn. Oh, you may not watch the videos as much, but I remind you that 50 Shades of Grey and other similar novels sell by the millions every single year. And it ain't guys buying them. And yes, ladies, they are a form of corn. And they set unrealistic expectations every bit as much as the videos do.
They don't need to court women in order to see these things, so they stop courting women in real life too.
Or maybe, just maybe, they've stopped courting women the way the guys in those romance novels do. So you don't see it when they do court you. Because, well, it's the bare minimum. It's not enough. Your expectations are based on romance novels and rom-com movies, where their men are absolutely perfect and fulfill every woman's desire. It's where the whole sixes mentality comes from. Because those guys in the movies and in those books are all 6 feet tall millionaires with six-pack abs and, well, you know the rest. They're fantasies, not reality. But yet women have set their expectations based on them. While of course saying it's completely misogynistic if men hold women to the same standards that all the actresses in those movies display. Funny how that is.
And it's the exact same thing when these guys are viewing girls on social media. And it also impacts the way they view women in real life who are just raw, unedited, real, natural human beings. Because now their brains are so trained into thinking that that's not what attractive women look like.
So you want a man to court you the same way Ryan Gosling courted Rachel McAdams. But for men, you say that they are unrealistic. They don't know anything about a real woman. See a little hypocrisy here.
I mean, kind of like how women think every man should look like Ryan Gosling. You know, that actor in The Notebook, that movie you swooned over earlier. How's that any different? But yet in your mind, it is. Again, more generalizations of men while refusing to acknowledge that women are exactly the same way.
They think that women are supposed to look like what they see in porn and on social media when all of that is fake.
It's mind-boggling how they literally cannot see the double standards and hypocrisy of their entire arguments.
Women giving it up way too easy. Why would a man court you and try hard to win you over?
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Did she suddenly just figure it out? Let's see what else she's got to say here.
When he can just buy you a drink at the bar and then get in your pants. Just as much as men are not courting women, we are also enabling them.
Well, in the end, I gotta give credit where credit's due. She did nail one of the big reasons why men aren't courting women. Because it makes far more sense to men to lease a Ferrari and, when you get bored with it, maybe a Lamborghini, than to lock yourself down with the purchase of a minivan. But that's not the real reason. In the end, men would be perfectly happy with a minivan if, and this is the big one, they got something in return. Because that's the real reason why men aren't courting. If you listen to everything she said in that video, up until the very end, she put all the blame on men. She looked for every reason she could except the real one. The fact being that women offer nothing in return in relationships anymore. And the reason she does that is, well, as I always say, taking accountability or taking responsibility to women is akin to kryptonite to Superman. And rather than accept and acknowledge the fact that they offer nothing to men other than a certain thing, a thing which is readily available by her own admission, they seek to put the blame on things like rap music and corn. Now, earlier she said that those things are examples of how men don't respect women. In reality, the reverse is true. The ultimate real reason why men are done and walking away, why they're no longer courting women, is that today's modern women do not respect men. Not in any way, shape, or form. They see them as things to be used and then discarded. It's why 80% of women file for divorce, and the number one reason they file is they think they can do better or they're bored. Knowing that that's the reality more than half the time, why would you ever expect men to come a-courting? It makes no sense. The logic does not compute. And until that changes, until women start showing some respect for men and acknowledging them and treating them as human beings, not wallets, well, nothing's going to change.